A new semester and a new setup for us here on College Crossfire. A new signing day class for Texas. We'll debate which one has the better outlook up next on Crossfire. I guess we'll get into it, guys. Always enthusiastic, unbelievable, hard-nosed.
Roll up the sleeves for this one.
This Dallas team was very overrated from the start, like they always are every year.
The talent there, Tevin Mack, Eric Davis, and Cronin Roach, are maybe three of the most talented guys on the team.
Oh, that's an ugly shirt.
Always a pleasure having you on, guys.
Time to freak out, Reese.
Welcome back for another semester of College Crossfire. I'm your host, Reese Miller. So glad to be back with you. Big day to discuss here on the 40 Acres with our wonderful panel as we get fired up for a spring semester, a little bit more fired up than maybe the Texas coaching staff on a day like today or some of the Longhorn fans. Mark Skol, Jonathan Polasek, and the great Joe Morris. He's got the tie game today. New year, new you. So glad to have all you guys. Mark, how you doing?
I'll tell you what, Reese, if I was doing any better,
Wow.
it wouldn't be fair.
It's obvious that I'm it's obvious that I'm out of the swing of things and haven't done this in a while because you're coming out firing, and I love it. Jonathan, how are you?
I'm doing all right, Reese. How you doing?
Missed that. My favorite. If you're just new to the show, Jonathan's the one guy who actually cares about how I'm doing. I obviously care about how everybody's doing because I always ask. Jonathan always asks me. It's why he does well during the show. Joe Morris, looking better, so hopefully feeling better, and you'll do better, right? That's the strategy?
Well, yeah, it's laundry day, so I apologize for the
Okay, all right. So laundry day's over, so you have to wear that. Excellent. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive in. Tom Herman's first recruiting class is official, and it's not exactly what the Longhorn fans would have hoped for. Texas finished as the number 26 class on the 247 composite rankings, but as low as 33 on ESPN. Overall, Texas took 18 total players, the highest rated being running back Toneel Carter. He's number 74 on the ESPN 300. It's the lowest ranked class ever for the Horns, guys. What's your reaction to Tom Herman's first class, Mark?
To be honest, it's expected. It's disappointing, but it's expected. And when you get a new head coach, it's a transition year for recruiting, and the recruiting is never going to be like it was last year when they were all the way in the top 10 in ESPN's rankings and then moved up to 7 after they got the Baylor guys in. It's expected. It's not impressive, but the one guy who really stands out is Sam Ehlinger. When you get that guy in, he makes a class. And I think if you just have a guy like that who's a difference maker in a class, I think it's a successful class.
Yeah, certainly we'll be talking about Sam a little bit later on. Jonathan, what's your immediate reaction to this class? I think some people are a little bit underwhelmed, but what's your reaction?
I think everyone just needs to chill. I mean, just relax. I mean, like Mark said, new head coach, transition period. You're not going to have a top 10 class your first year. And Texas's outgoing senior class, not many guys are leaving, so it's not like you can sign a whole lot of people to bring in. So I think Texas is going to be all right. I mean, they have playmakers. They have Gary Johnson as inside linebacker. They'll allow Malik Jefferson to move outside, rush the passer. They'll be fine. I mean, it's a small class, but it looks like a good one.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine. You kind of hear that in your mind over and over with Texas. But you're right, it is a small class. 18 players, lowest since 2013. The last time they were ranked in the 20s when they only had 15. Joe, what's your reaction?
I think I would agree with these two guys. I think Texas is going to be all right. The class was just rated just outside the top 25, so it's not like it's a terrible class. Not down there with Northern Idaho or anyone else.
I mean, they're behind Maryland. It's 26 overall. I think it's pretty disappointing. I'm a little bit surprised none of you guys are
It's disappointing,
a
but
little
expected.
bit more.
I mean,
I don't know if you can expect 26?
Tom Herman's not the recruiter that Charlie Strong is. Charlie Strong is basically a godsend for parents and trying to bring recruits in. That's the thing.
And it's hard to get the 5-star recruits to buy into a program that's not been the best. And
3
having a
straight
new
7-loss
head coach.
seasons. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, you're all going to start off with a point. All good points made. I think something that no one mentioned, Charlie Strong, the way he recruited, sort of came in late, built those relationships late. Those late charges, not necessarily good when you're a new coach coming into those situations, guys. Despite its low national rankings, Texas did finish second in the Big 12 behind Oklahoma. Perhaps that says more about the state of the Big 12 conference, but nevertheless, the Longhorns did sign 7 4-stars on 247. This class is going to be criticized for missing out on Kavion Chason, Stefan Zabier, but guys, who's an underrated recruit that you think can make a pretty immediate impact, Jonathan?
Well, Reese, what's a position that Texas has been lacking for several years now? And don't say quarterback because we all know that that's a problem.
I don't know your answers. I have not read your answer for it, but I'll guess tight end.
It's a tight end.
Okay.
They have not had a playmaking tight end since, I don't even know. It's been their best
Maybe
tight end.
Michael Finley.
Their best tight end in recent years, Caleb Blewett, and he's a glorified defensive lineman. I mean, Cade Brewer, I think he has the potential to come in and make an instant impact. He's more of an H-back type, but he's worked on his run blocking skills, and he is a threat to catch, to line up wide and provide the big play that Texas has lacked from the tight end position for many years.
And don't forget about the other tight end. Got a great first name, Reese Lato. It's gonna be a good one. It's got a good name at least. Joe, what do you think?
Well, I think Josh Rowland could be the
Wow.
anyone better than Trent Domingue is someone alive. So I think that him coming in and taking the kicker spot, he's already making
Right,
Texas
one of the
offense better.
nation's top JUCO kickers. A future great trivia question is what will be Tom Herman's first recruit at Texas? And it was Josh Rowland, a JUCO kicker. If you guys are into that sort of thing, Mark, what do you think?
Well, Jonathan, you talked about what's the position that's caused the most pain for Texas fans over the past few years.
Head coach.
The kicker, Josh Rowland. Great minds think alike.
Wow.
Domain missed 3 extra points against Oklahoma State last year. Unacceptable. And then 2 years ago, and he also missed a pancake field goal against Kansas State that would have been the game winner. 2 years ago, Nick Rose missed a chip shot extra point to lose against Cal. The kicker has been the biggest problem. It's something you always need to have on a football team. And Josh Rowland, he doesn't have sexy stats, 9 of 12. His longest field goal was 44 yards, 32 of 33 from the extra point. But that's something you need to be a successful team. I'm going with Josh Rowland.
You also need a line to protect the kicker because I can't tell you how many times that Trent Domingue had his kicks blocked in that Oklahoma State game.
It was incredible how often you had to worry and think, wow, is this extra point actually going to make it?
I said it was going to walk out if they got an extra point blocked in that Oklahoma State game. I walked out.
All right, Jonathan, you're getting the point. Love Cade Brewer. Got to see him right down the road here at Lake Travis. Maybe he'll open up the middle of the field. I think that was one of the biggest complaints of last year's offense. Never really utilized it. Maybe he'll change that. Moving on here, guys. Tom Herman said today at his press conference that there are no starters. There is no depth chart, meaning we could have some sort of QB battle on campus for another consecutive year, guys. Do you see Sam Ehlinger pushing for playing time or maybe even beating out Buechele this spring headed towards the fall? Joe, what do you think?
I'd say it'd be a good time to put in Ehlinger, so test the fire, see if Shane Buechele can get better, or if he doesn't improve from last year, then he'll just be the backup again. So I mean, last year with Tyrone Swoops backing him up, like there wasn't much of a challenge, so he's just the starter by default. But I think bringing Ehlinger to test him, that would be a wise choice.
Okay, Mark, what do you think?
What would you say was the worst loss of the season last year?
Kansas.
Who was the worst player on the field that game for Texas?
Well, there were a lot of bad players. You're trying to make me choose.
Shane Buechele was the worst player on the field that game. He's the reason why Texas lost to Kansas. If a guy can't perform in Lawrence, Kansas against the Jayhawks on the football field, this isn't the basketball court, this isn't at the Fog, this is at the football field. If you can't get a guy who can perform there, why should he be the quarterback? He's probably going to be the starter next year, but I think Sam can definitely give him a run for his money. I mean, he's that good.
Yeah.
He was hurt a little bit, but I mean, he's an early enrollee, so he wants to push it. So I think he has a shot.
Played in just 5 games his senior year, but don't forget was the Texas Gatorade Player of the Year his junior season, 70 total touchdowns in his high school career. Jonathan, what do you think? Do you think Sam's got a shot to unseat Shane?
I think Sam's definitely going to push Shane, but I think at the end of the day, you need an experienced quarterback. For a new head coach, Shane, he showed flashes. He was a good quarterback last year. I mean, granted, played terribly against Kansas, but I mean, you have to attribute that to the freshman wall and several injuries, including a chest injury or rib injury. And what makes any of y'all think that Sam Ehlinger isn't going to hit that freshman wall, maybe against Kansas?
Because Ehlinger's not small like Buechele is. Buechele's been taking a beating. If Buechele can't stay healthy, Ehlinger's going to take over.
Who was the last quarterback to come out of Westlake, or who was the last quarterback to come out of Westlake and came and play for Texas?
I know of Drew Brees, Nick Foles.
But they didn't go to Texas.
Yeah, they didn't go to Texas.
Maybe it was Lake Travis.
Garrett Gilbert.
Garrett Gilbert.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
I
Similar.
I don't know the
Similar.
high schools.
All right.
Different high school.
Right, so you're definitely not getting the points. Candace taking us to high school. I think Mark is going to get the point. Real quick before we go to break, we do have some sound from head coach Tom Herman talking about his future quarterback and what sticks out about the young freshman already on campus.
He's an alpha male. I mean, you walk into the room, he walks into the room, and it's like, whoa, okay, Sam's here.
Now that is some high praise, guys. We're headed to break. That'll do it for our signing day block. Up next, it's all about the Super Bowl in Houston, our panelists. Break it down for you when we return. Rolling on College Crossfire, our Super Bowl and signing day special tonight.
Super Bowl.
So good to be back with everybody. Let's take a quick peek at our scoreboard. Mark, Skol, and Jonathan Polasek with the deuces. Joe Morris has got the uno, but he's got the tie, so he's looking good and plenty of time for a comeback, guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. Can't believe you're wearing a tie, by the way. This is coming from a guy who was wearing a Colby Lewis t-shirt, our first show, guys. Super Bowl 51 is upon us. The Falcons are making their second ever appearance in the big game. Meanwhile, Tom Brady is making his 7th alone. If he wins, he'll be the only QB ever with 5 rings, guys. Pretty simple here. Is he the GOAT if he wins, Mark?
Not yet. And the reason why is because this guy had a perfect season going, 18-0, and then he blows it. Scores only 14 points against the Giants in the Super Bowl, the biggest game.
A great defense.
But great defense early on in his career, too. If you look at the stats when they won the Super Bowl early on, those first 3 Super Bowls, they weren't very good either. So I think he has a shot if he wins 2 more. I'm not going to say this.
He's got to get 6. He's got to get 2 more than anybody else. 5 rings is enough.
No, he's
got to
get
6.
He's got to get 6.
All right, Jonathan, what do you think?
How can you say that he's not the GOAT already? I mean, he's 39 years old, and he's playing better than every quarterback in the league, quarterbacks that are more athletic than him. I mean, come on. And I mean, he's done it consistently throughout his career. I think he's the leader in wins at this point now. So how can you say that he's not?
I think Jerry Rice is the GOAT. Played in 3 different decades, dominated in each decade. I'm going with Jerry.
QBs.
It says the GOAT.
Sticking on
It doesn't say
QBs.
QB GOAT. It says GOAT. Greatest of all time, Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice. All right.
I'm going to say the greatest of all time is Jim Brown. Let's go. Led the league in rushing 8 of 9 years. He retired 9 years in because he was already that good. He didn't have to prove anything else. Averaged 6 yards per carry for his career. Right. There's no way anyone's going to beat him.
I don't want to diminish by any way what Jim Brown did, but I think I could have started at linebacker back in that decade. Not that I would have tackled him, but I think the talent level,
I mean, he won
hard to evaluate.
He won a championship with the Browns. Yeah, he won a
with the Browns.
Yeah,
that's
they
not
weren't the
modern-day
Browns. That's
Browns.
not. Jonathan's getting the point no matter what because Brady is already the GOAT. He's going to add to the GOAT status on Sunday with a chance to add for the next several years. Jonathan gets the point, guys, alongside Brady. His entire run has been the coach with the cutoff sweatshirt. Bill Belichick has been there every step of the way with Brady. The two have been to the Super Bowl about 50% of the years they've been together, guys. But the question is, who's more important to the overall franchise success? Jonathan, we'll start with you.
As good as Brady is, and he is the GOAT, I think it's Belichick. He has the system. He's allowed Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett to win games this year. And when Matt Castle, a backup quarterback coming out of college, wasn't even a starter for his team, comes in, goes 11-5 in the year Brady's out with an ACL injury, how can you say that it's just Brady? I mean, Belichick has it going on.
Kind of diminishing your Brady as the GOAT argument.
He's still the
by
GOAT because
saying that.
No, when you win, it makes everybody look good, but you have to have coach combination. And with Belichick, he's made Brady what he is, the GOAT.
Yeah, I agree with that. Joe,
I'd agree with that as well because if you put Tom Brady or if you put Bill Belichick on another team, they'd still probably win the Super Bowl. They'd probably have almost as much success as the Patriots do now. But if you put Tom Brady on the Browns, say he's out of the league in 5 years.
There's so much to unpack there. I don't even know where to start. So I'm just gonna move on to Mark. Mark, what do you think? Brady or Belichick? Which one's more important?
I'll tell you why it's Belichick. You look at a guy like Shea McClone, first-round draft pick for the Chicago Bears. Absolute garbage, had no career plays in his time with the Bears. Nothing
Okay.
ever stood out.
Tying it back to Chicago, already like it.
Now he's a stud for the Patriots defense in, 2 years? He's starting on the defense. He's one of the main playmakers. He blocked a field goal, a Justin Tucker field goal, might I add. This year was the only field goal he missed all season. He makes the players on that team who aren't stud players great players. And if you look at the offense too, I mean, not to diminish Julian Edelman or Chris Hogan or any of those guys, but Malcolm Floyd is the fourth receiver. Brady's got a ton of weapons on that team, on that offensive side of the ball. Martellus Bennett is the backup tight end. That's insane. Yeah. The offense is good, but Belichick is the reason why everyone wants to play there. It's a culture there, and they're going to be good for years to come, even when Brady retires.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think you're getting the point. You made some great points there. I do think that Brady makes his receivers that much better, just because I think in the last 10 years he's had 8 different leading receivers. I mean, Chris Hogan caught 8 passes in college, and he's on fire in the postseason. But anyways, I do think you're right on Bill Belichick. I think you make any team good. Are you kidding me? They're taking Malcolm Butler and making him one of the best corners in the league. Anyways, Mark's getting the point, guys. Moving on. So much breakdown of this game. The number 1 defense in the New England Patriots, the number 1 offense in the Atlanta Falcons. Guys, this one's pretty simple. Who wins the big game? And we'll need a Super Bowl MVP pick for you as well, Joe.
I got the Patriots winning, and for my MVP pick, I will take Bill Belichick's personal camcorder.
Personal camcorder?
Yeah.
What is he using?
So what does he use the cam? Just curious.
He's pulling out all the stops for this.
So is he going to be like videoing himself? Like, isn't there a more efficient way, like
He'll be
iPhones
taking
or
some selfies.
something like that? Like,
It's videoing the Falcons as a practice, and using that to influence how he calls the game.
okay, so he's cheating.
Yeah.
We're going back to cheating. Okay. All right. Whatever. Mark, what do you think?
I'm going to go with the Falcons. I think
Wow.
their offense has been so high-powered, and the team they played in the NFC Championship, the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers was on an absolute roll, and no one could stop him, but the Falcons defense did. If they could stop Aaron Rodgers,
Underrated.
I think they have a shot to stop Brady as well. And for my MVP, I'm going to go with a kind of an under-the-radar guy, Tevin Coleman, who was originally the starter at running back for the Falcons. Then he got injured, and Devontae Freeman took over. Yeah. So I'm going to say Tevin Coleman has a big game. He has a run over 50 yards for a touchdown.
Wow, good receiving back too. Jonathan, what do you think?
It's got to be the Falcons.
Got to be the Falcons. Wow,
gotta
all
be the
this love for
Falcons.
Brady and Belichick, and then we're all in on Atlanta.
I'm sick and tired of seeing Tom Brady and Bill
think everybody
Belichick
is,
win.
yeah.
As good as they are, I'm tired. I'm tired of that. It's got to be the Falcons. The Falcons. Watching these playoffs, watching Tom Brady, in the first game, the Houston Texans, they kept that game close for 3 quarters. What was the reason? They got pressure on Tom Brady. The Falcons' defensive line, they are able to generate pressure with Vic Beasley. And I think if they can create pressure, they can knock Brady down, they can get him off of his rhythm, and I think they can stop him. And Matty Ice, he's going to have a huge game. He's going to throw for over 300 yards. Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman are going to split time, so I don't think either one of them wins MVP honors.
I want to say in his last 6 postseason games, Matt Ryan's thrown something ridiculous like 24 touchdowns and no interceptions. Guy's on an absolute roll. But number 1 defense, I think, still prevails over number 1 offense. It'll be interesting to see if Atlanta is able to come out firing. If New England gets up early, I think it's over. I think I'm going to go ahead and give Joe the points because had a little bit of Patriot salt in there. And I think New England wins the game, guys. That'll get us going to break, wrapping it up for segment 2. But we've got a heated rapid fire coming your way after this. Welcome back to your home for live sports debate, the only show that goes live here from the 40 acres. It's College Crossfire on TSTV. I'm Reese Miller. Take a quick glance at the scoreboard. Got a pretty close one here, guys, going on. Everybody's got their different scores going on. Is that 2 or 4? Because
Open 4.
no, okay, all right. Well, we'll just keep it at the real score, which is 2, guys. But anyone's game, just so you guys know, points are doubled. You guys have been on the show, but for people at home, if you're just watching, points are now doubled. I'll throw out a question. They jump in with an answer, and we will move on, guys. The first question, pretty simple. You guys just announced your MVP picks, who you think are going to take over, guys. So the last question is, actually, we're going to switch it up. Today, National Signing Day, of course, guys. You saw Levi Jones. Many of you who were watching ESPNU this morning from Austin Westlake had a Florida shirt on, ripped it off. It was Florida State. Ripped that one off. It was USC, guys. So if you were a recruit, 5-star, going anywhere you wanted, what would be the coolest way you could think of to make an announcement of where you were going?
Well, I live I'm from the Clear Lake area, which is right next to NASA Space Center, and I know a couple astronauts, so I could get my buddy Clay Anderson to go up in an International Space Station and hold up the Texas shirt or the Texas hat for me. So that's what I would do.
Wow. Okay.
Or get a
Space.
picture of me, and then put it on there with the
Incorporating NASA.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I like it. It's better than ripping a shirt off. I'll say that. What do you guys got? Anywhere you want to go in the country.
I'm gonna stick with staying on the water. You know, fishing. You know, I like being on the water. I'm gonna get a speedboat out. Have two nice-looking girls sitting next to me.
Of course, naturally.
And
Absolutely. You're a step 5 star.
Bikinis or one pieces?
What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know.
Bikinis.
Oh man.
So I mean, and they're gonna have a shirt on underneath over, and as we're flying down the canal, they rip their shirt off, and so they have UT written on them.
Wow, go to UT, a big time commitment for Tom Herman's squad.
That's
Got
right.
the babes in there.
I'm gonna be the starting
The
quarterback.
speedboat, starting QB. It's hard to beat, Joe. You better get the mind going here.
Flip a coin.
Hey, Chris Warren, isn't that what he did supposedly a couple years ago between Washington and Texas?
Well, I saw it in an episode of Friday Night Lights, so I think that's what I would just go with. Yeah.
All right, whatever. Well, definitely not cooler than space, but it's absolutely not cooler than two girls on a speedboat. Whatever they're tearing off, it's got UT on it, and Jonathan's the starting QB. I'm all in, so Jonathan's getting the 2 points, guys, here. A little bit of Super Bowl trivia. Back to the MVP race. You guys just made some picks for Tevin Coleman, maybe some Matty Ice. But time to review a little history. You get 1 point for each question. Can you name the last 5 Super Bowl MVPs?
Von Miller, Bobby Wagner, Tom Brady, Joe Flacco, and
Wow, not letting anyone jump in there.
Eli Manning.
What was the other Super Bowl?
There you go. That's whatever.
What did you say?
Eli Manning.
Okay, you got 1.
Hey.
You got 2, but you also said 1 wrong.
Which one I said?
You missed the 2014 Seattle
Is it Michael
MVP.
Bennett?
No, it was,
No.
It was a defensive player.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. It was super rogue. Remember, he picked off Peyton Manning,
Irving?
linebacker.
What was his name?
No.
He plays for the Raiders now.
59. Think number 59. You actually got 3, but I feel like I have to take 1 away because you missed 1.
Well, you can't take one away.
I can take 1 away because you got. So the last 5 have been Von Miller, Tom Brady, the Seattle MVP, Flacco,
What's his name?
Manning, and then before that it was Rodgers,
Irvin,
Breeze,
Bruce
Santonio Holmes. No, I don't think anyone's gonna get it. Malcolm Smith.
Oh no, I had
Malcolm
that.
Smith, the guy that everybody forgets. So, no worries. Mark's starting to build up a bit of a lead here, guys. But anyone can win it. Well, Joe, I'm not sure if technically you can win it, but if you give me something outrageous, I don't know. Maybe we'll see what we can
Depends on
do.
if I win more.
Anyways, guys, Phil Simms was the first quarterback when he won with the New York Giants to say he's going to Disney World whenever his team won the Super Bowl, guys. So the question is, you just win the Super Bowl. You're the QB. Jonathan, obviously, you went to Texas and have your girls and whatnot. But anyways, where would you say you're going, or what would be your announcement when you're interviewed right after the Super Bowl? You're a champion. Go anywhere you want.
It's tough.
You can't go to Disney World?
No, you
Why
can't.
would you wanna go
That's
to
lame.
Disney
Yeah,
World?
why would you want to
Everyone
get
said, so if you win the Super Bowl, you go to Disney World.
Yeah, but you can go
Okay.
anywhere. You can go somewhere else. Yeah.
Oh.
You know what? I'm taking my 2 girls with me to Fiji. They're coming with me.
Fiji, okay. Fiji's hard to beat. And you got your 2 girls, so it's
That's
super
right.
hard to beat. 2 of them, dude. You got to share. Jeez.
Nah, not happening.
Wow.
Well, the Pro Bowl was in Orlando this year.
I think so.
So they didn't go to Hawaii, and I've never been to
All right.
Hawaii.
I've never been to
And I
Hawaii.
know there's a bunch of chicks there who like Jonathan, so I'll go to I'll go to Hawaii.
But you have Jonathan with you. That's the question.
Well, Jonathan's going to be my backup QB.
I see.
okay.
After
okay.
I won my 5 Super Bowls.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Going home, taking a nice nap.
Going home and taking a nice nap. Just a total,
That sounds good, honestly. I'm telling you.
just a complete and total give up.
You gonna take some Dayquil like Breeze?
No.
Yeah, it was nice.
Well, I don't want to say
Wow.
I don't know. Never mind.
I'm blown away. I'm blown away. Do we have some audience reaction? Do we prefer Fiji? Do we prefer
Fiji.
Hawaii?
Fiji.
All right, what about if I go to, after Hawaii, I'll go take a trip to Canada and watch some hockey. Watch Connor McDavid.
I mean, it gets me hyped, but I don't think it gets anybody else hyped.
Come on,
You kind of
some stick and puck action.
you kind of skating your way out of it. Jonathan had the killer answer. 2 questions before that. Had the Fiji, had the girls.
Well, I brought the girls with him. He's with me too. I'll give everyone a trip. Everyone's going. Everyone's got a ticket. I'll buy your ticket.
Yeah, but I'm staying loyal. They're the 2 girls from my recruitment.
Wow. Still with the same 2 girls. I think our audience can appreciate the loyalty not only to his school, but to his ladies, taking him with him to Fiji and taking home the victory today. Jonathan Polasek, it's a quick time for some FaceTime for Polasek. We do. Go ahead. Super Bowl's in your hometown, man. Congrats.
Yeah, I'm going home for the Super Bowl. I'm not staying very long. I want to get out as soon as possible because I know that is going to be a nightmare. I live only 5 minutes away from NRG, and yeah, it's not going to be pretty down there. So I'm going to go there and come back, get back as soon as I possibly can. So
Sneaking in?
no.
Wow.
Going to Reese's
That'll
Super
be
Bowl
fun.
party.
That's right. That's right. And bring your ladies. Why not?
I'll bring
Why
them.
not? All right. That's all that I ask. You got the win. Congrats on the win. That'll do it. Jonathan Polasek, the winner of our first show of this semester. Thanks to everyone in the panel, everybody in studio, Master Control. You guys all make this happen. Reminder, TSTV General Meeting tomorrow. Go to the Facebook page or check it out at TSTV Sports to keep up with the latest in Texas sports right here on the 40 Acres. Until next time, I'm Reese Miller. Thanks so much for spending your Wednesday night with us. Until next time, good night.